Welcome back again, working on the late model. Last video you seen we were working on the fuel side of the car. Now we're going to work on just wires, hoses, anything we can get plugged up. We're going to try to get the main power wire hooked up to the starter, get the hydraulic or the power steering lines all hooked up to the power steering pump. Besides the big line we have to get that. We're going to try to see if we can get the clutch cable put on. I might need to go get a fitting. If I don't have the fitting, we won't be able to do that. But I'm going to try to do a lot of the electrical stuff. I need to put a tack in because this car does not have a tack. And I have an electrical tack or digital tack that we're going to put in as well. So that's what we're going to do in this one. We're going to also hook up water lines or water temperature gauges. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to hook the oil pressure gauge because I have to get a new line for that, a new metal line. But we're going to get started, get into the work, and try to knock a little bit more of this out. Because, like I said in the other video, we're a couple weeks away from hitting the track for the first time at Florence Speedway, March 12th, for the open practice. All divisions. In case you don't know or haven't been there, you should definitely go check it out. I believe it's free admission for general admission, but you still have to pay the pit pass to get back into the pits. So we're going to try to go there, hit as many laps as we can, try to get comfortable in this new car, or at least a little bit. But enough talking. Let's go ahead and get to work. All right, first things first, we're going to clean off this power steering line to the pump. Seal thread it, put some new seal tape on it, and hook it up. Alright, got that one on. I already know someone out there is going to say you put the seal tape on the wrong way, and I typically always do because I never seem to get it right. Right now, we'll go ahead and put the water temp in. I'm going to put it right inside here, inside the burper. And then did it again. I put it wrong, put the tape on the wrong way again. Nice and tight. Now, go ahead and run this over, zip tie it up to the frame. Alright, now that we got that done, we're gonna go ahead and hook up the battery cable. The battery is not in the car, and before I do all that afterwards, we need to put the jumper. There's a jumper that goes from here to here. We need to put that in place too, but right now, go ahead, hook the battery cable. Not gonna tighten it too much, because like I said, we gotta put that jumper right here. But at least that's gonna be on there, and then we'll go ahead and zip tie it up. Alright, got that battery cable loosely hooked up, because I still have to put the jumper on there. We got it zip tied up. We got all that other stuff done. I need to get this rat's nest all fixed up, but I'm probably going to get new cables for this anyway, because these ones are pretty old. They were from the car when I first original got it, so we're going to go ahead and change those out. I'm going to order the radiator and the hoses to put back on this, so we can get that all done, so we can get all that piped up. I need to get, like I said, the hydraulic or the power steering hose for over there.
One eternity later.
We got our radiator and radiator hoses we're going to get out. Maybe even try to get those in today. Also, I'm going to put a couple clips in from the other day where we were working on some other stuff on the motor side, because I never did get to, it was just it was a rough day. I didn't get, I mean, it was a bad video all in all, so I'll probably try to throw some of those clips into here, maybe in the beginning or the end. I'm not too sure yet, but we're gonna go ahead and unbox this radiator and the hoses, see what we got, see what we need to do to get them in the car, because I'd like to get them in the car because we need to get this motor started. We are under 2 weeks away from hitting Florence Speedway, so we need to get working pretty quick on finishing up some loose ends and trying to get some other stuff done. But let's go ahead and get this radiator out. And there it is, our Speedway Motors radiator, brand new. This is new in our car this season. So I got all the hoses. I'm gonna go ahead and get the other stuff in, measure it out, see if it's gonna fit in, because I did have to buy a little bit bigger radiator. I bought a 28 inch, the other one was a 27 and a half, so half inch, hopefully it doesn't affect too much. But let's go ahead, get this fitted, and see what we need to do to finish putting it in, and maybe even put it in. So it looks like I might need to adjust a little bit. I don't know, I mean, it's about, we got about an inch or so of space. in between the fan blades and the radiator, so we might have to do a little bit of fabrication, so see what we can do to get this in there. Alright, first thing we need to do is put this piece on. This is the top bracket that holds the radiator in place. Comes with these, let me set this down. Comes with these little springs. This is what kind of keeps the radiator put in place. We're going to put this all together, see how it looks, and see what we need to do from there. So let's get this put on. Alright, as you can see, we had to take the radiator fan off and the spacer because my spacer is 3 inches, which puts the blade hitting right on the edge of the top piece for this. So I went ahead, went back to Speedway Motors where we got the radiator. We ordered a 2-inch and a 2.5-inch spacer to replace with this one, or to replace this one. We'll put our fan back on. What we're going to do now, while we have that off, just because I want to get it off the ground, you know, so it's good, we're going to go ahead, fit it in here, put this top piece on, put the springs back on, and it'll be in the car, ready to go. We have the hoses right here, brand new hoses. We're going to put on, we're going to go ahead and put the radiator in, drop it in, get it all put down, put our spring little holders on, and the radiator will be in. We got our new hoses that we're going to put on once we get everything in, and then we'll guess right now we'll go ahead and finish working on some, I want to say electrical work, but I really don't think we can do that right now. I did work on the transmission a little bit. We had to take the rods off right there on the ground because they are too long to reach the transmission, so I had to cut them down, rethread them, but finding left-hand taps are very, very hard. So I gotta find some of those so that I can redo these, because my tie rod ends on those are left-hand thread on one side, regular thread on the other. So we'll have to work on that as we get to that point. But I'm gonna go ahead and throw this radiator in so that it's off the ground and it's safe in the car. And then when we get our other parts, we will take it back off, put the spacer and everything in, and then put it all back on. Put all the hoses and stuff on, and we'll go from there. But let's go ahead and get this radiator in the car. Alright, so we're not gonna do that because that was crazy. I don't even know where that other spring went. So I'm gonna find that other spring and we will save doing that. We gotta find that other spring. I don't know where that went. we'll save that until we get the parts for the radiator and everything, or the fan. We'll get that put in, then we'll put those on. But we'll go ahead. We got that there. We'll go ahead and try to work on some other things. We got a lot of the wiring and stuff hooked up, but I don't want to put the battery on the car yet. So, I mean, I don't know. We're kind of. I mean, we gotta do the drive shaft still, but we'll see. I'm gonna try to find the spring real quick. Up there it is. It flung all the way over here. Don't need that to happen again. There's probably a better way to do that. We'll do it later. So there's spacer for the fan will come in on the 3rd, which would be Wednesday. It'd be on Wednesday. We'll get the spacer for the fan. We'll get all that put on. We'll probably go ahead and hook everything up to the point to where we can fire this thing up, and we might even fire it this weekend. So we'll see how it goes. But we got the radiator in. We'll wait for the spacers to come in. I think we're gonna do that. So I will be back when the parts get here. Alright, we got our parts in. We got our 2-inch spacer and a 2.5-inch spacer. We're gonna try this 2-inch spacer first to see how far away it is, and if it's too far, then we'll put the 2.5-inch. But first, we're gonna put this 2-inch spacer on from Speedway Motors, put the fan back on, and see how far away we are. Here it is. This is the 2-inch spacer. This piece can come off. We're gonna see if it fits with the fan. If it does, we'll leave it on. If not, we'll take it off, or vice versa. Alright, after checking it, it does fit without the spacer, so we're not going to put the spacer on. It does come with hardware already, so I'm going to put that on. We'll put the fan on. And then we'll use the hardware that comes with it. Put it all together. after fighting with everything. The hoses, these springs. We finally got the coolant, or the radiator in. We ended up using the 2-inch spacer. Got that in, got the belt in. I ended up having to take the alternator off, which quite frankly, honestly, we didn't even use it last year. So we just took that off. We're probably, not towards the beginning, but towards the end of the year, or even middle year, we'll change over to a different battery. But took the alternator off so that we can get this bottom water hose on. Got all the other stuff put on. I think I'm only going to put on one more part tonight. I think we're going to put on the shifter knobs that I had to fabricate to get them to fit. I'm going to see if they fit. After we get those on, I think I'm going to call it a night. It's been a few days of hard work trying to get this thing all figured out. So we got the parts in, we got everything put in. The radiator's held pretty solid in place right now. So let's put these shifter linkages on and call it from there. Alright, we got our shifter linkage in, as you can see right there. And I think that's going to be it for tonight. We got a lot accomplished. We got quite a bit accomplished. We still got a little bit more to do. We got to get the exhaust on. We got new head bolts. We got new seals. And we got the stuff for the oil pressure. So we're going to head off to there tonight. My battery is about to die. And I also have a surprise for you in the next video. It's something we've talked about before. I don't know if you've seen it throughout this video. You might have seen it in the background. And if you did, you'll know. If you don't know, in the next video, you'll see a surprise that we talked about a couple videos ago. Something we were wanting to get for the program. We were able to get it finally. And it is here. And we did a little bit of work and stuff. So stay tuned for the next video, because that's going to be the good one. And we will continue also tomorrow on the Z1 late model, getting her finished up and maybe getting her fired up. So that's it for tonight. I will see you guys in the next video.